Hello everyone, I am Elite Xeon. Pleasure to meet you all. Now, this is going to be my first video like this ever, so please bear with me. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you all how to make a animated battler for RPGMaker, specifically VXAce, but I'm pretty sure these methods will probably work with any other system. So, first things first, we're going to use Graphics Gale free edition, completely free. I recommend you guys download it, start playing around with it, and I'm just going to go through the process of what I do when I make my own animated battlers. So first things first, we're going to make a new file. I'm not sure you guys can see my windows popping up or not. I'm using OBS, and half the time it usually doesn't record my pop-up windows, but I'm going to make a new file. We're going to set it up to full color. I'm going to set the pixels to 128 by 128. Alright, we're going to zoom in about 400%, and I'm going to turn on the 32 by 32 grid. And next up, I'm just going to put a little backdrop here and set that up as my transparent color. Now, in order for you to do that, you're going to click these three dots right here. That's for your properties. A window's going to pop up. You click, you check off the transparent color. Use the eyedropper tool and make sure you pick the color in the background as your transparency. And I'm going to rename this background. I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this the construction. Now, usually what I do when trying to make a battler is I try to just get a rough idea of what I want. So for me to do that, I'm just going to use the circle tool right here. Just find a random color I feel like using. Let's go with this one for now. And I'm just going to draw a shape of the battler, the creature or monster I feel like doing. I'm just going to do something random and work with that. Let's just give it a little head right there. Let's try making like a body shape. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll find out. Let's say maybe this thing's like a leg right here, an arm, another arm. It's looking to be like a type of constructing. We'll figure it out. It could be, or it could be a type of person. I don't know yet. I didn't really plan this out, but hey, maybe we'll make something interesting. Let's just, yeah, why not? So this is my basic shape of the creature I'm creating. So I'm going to go back to my background layer. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call this the head. I'm going to zoom in 700%, and let's start drawing a type of head for this creature. So I already have a little bit of a head shape right here, but because we're making battlers that are going to be side view, actually, this is a side view battler, I'm going to make it like a 3/4 or a complete side view thing. So first of all, let's get outline here. Let's just use box layer, or the box tool real quick, kind of even it out. And I'm just going to hide this real quick. I'm going to go into properties and lower the opacity by a good amount, and I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but whatever. I am a little sick right now, but yeah. Okay. Let's move back to the head layer. Okay. Let's draw outline, gonna fill that in. And let's just finish the rough outline. Now, what do I feel like turning this into? I kind of like the shape I got right now, but it's featureless at the moment, so I'm just going to play around a little bit. Maybe I'll come up with something. Let's try this. Okay. And as you're going about and sketching your Balor or your sprite, be sure to pay attention to the box on the bottom right that usually comes by with the default settings of Graphics Gale. This will show you like how your sprite will look on the actual size. And when we start animating it, you'll also see the animation being played out on that bottom right screen. So let's just give this guy a little bit of a mask. Let's give it like that shape. Almost like a helmet visor. Okay, and let's just carve in like more elaborate details. Yeah, it doesn't look right. Okay, let's outline this. And yeah, I kind of like where this is going so far. Let's leave it like that. Alright, another thing I like to do, I'm going to duplicate this layer one more time. Expect to do this a lot. You're going to be duplicating your background layer with the transparency and everything. I'm going to name this new layer Shading. And then I'm going to set up the opacity. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or wrong, but whatever. I'm going to you're going to see a number on the bottom. You can set it up essentially from 0 to 255. I'm going to put a value in of 50. Now on this layer, I'm going to use nothing but black and white. And now what that's going to do is, if you see that, it's giving like a nice layer of shading right on top of my Balor. There's a black, it gave it like a nice darker shade right there, and when we use white, it makes it lighter. And if I want, I can up the opacity right here. I'm pretty sure y'all are cringing right now at the way I'm pronouncing this. Let's see. Let's go with the value of 75 on the bottom, and we'll stick with that. Okay. Slide that. Okay. And I'm going to merge this downward. Oh wow. Also Facebook messages for some reason. Just delete, and here we go. Now I have this head all nice and done. And I'm going to be using these colors I have right here as the basis for the rest of my Balor construct. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's build a construct. Alright, now let's start building the body. I'm going to take this base color right here, and it's going to try to replicate that. Because he has a little corkscrew type of ordeal going with him. Just start adding, start, you know, trying to detail out a shape that looks right for your creature. I kind of want this guy to be like a little bit of a floating sort of guy. Now let's develop that. And to erase, you right-click on your background color here, and because we set that background color as a transparency, whenever you use that color to paint over something you put down, it's going to erase it. Let's use the start color right here. And let's see, I'm going to hide the head. It's called shading right now. Let's rename it head, or hide that. Just click the little happy face, turns it into a little sad face. That's going to hide your layers whenever you click that. And let's see, just draw a little outline. I'm just going to go really quickly, because you can always go back and fix things later. Okay, let's get my fill tool. Alright, and let's clean this up. Now this entire process is tedious, but you're going to have to bear with it. Is there anything I might want to change the color on this guy? I feel like it'll be really weird if I start adding yellow on top of it. Okay, not really happy with the body at the moment. So let's try this. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try just change out his entire color. Let's just go with that. Just white for now. And let's use a pure white right here for the lighting. And let's try and find a gold color. Okay, I think that would work. Alright, let's go with this. I'm gonna have to do my shading layer again, but that's okay. Let's have a little thing floating behind him, because why not? Let's use the outline circle tool thingy. Alright, let's start with black. Let's fill it in with that gold color. And let's go back with black. And then let's use our background layer to erase everything else. Now he has like a little ring floating behind his head. Okay. Let's set up the shading layer again. I'll try to do this really quick. Or if you guys are watching, you can probably just skip ahead. Okay, merge it down. Alright, now for the body. Let's try to figure out what the heck I was thinking when I did this. Alright, first of all, I think I want to move the body back a little bit. Let's try maybe right here. Nah. I want to feel like it's floating. So, let's try right here. And with this, let's try carving in some details and give it more depth. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna grab this lighter white color. Kind of make a little collar for this thingy. I'm not sure what it needs it for, but hey, why not? Might look cool. You kind of just play, if you don't have like a sketch of what you're trying to do, you kind of just want to start playing around until you get something that looks cool. And when you kind of just come up with things on the fly, you get really interesting results. Usually. Sometimes you just get things that are just really crappy. But hey, you might find a use for it. Okay. Let's see, maybe the black. Now let's get a darker gray, darker gray. Use the fill tool to speed things up a bit. Let's hide the head. Make it like cylindrical or round. Once again, this is my first time, so I don't know how to word yet. How do I word? And I got a pretty neat idea with this area, but I'll save it for later. Alright, let's carve in some details right here. Now it's a 3/4 view, so let's try, like, I'm gonna try making it so it's looking slightly off to the side while still facing front, if you know what I'm trying to say. You'll see. So let's say it's kind of shaped that way because it's looking forward towards the right. And towards the right will be where all the heroes are located at. Let's fix some curves. I think I kind of want to give it like a bit of a saucer shape. Okay, that doesn't look right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make it look like it's curving upwards, but just slightly. Let's erase some of these parts so we can just look at it a little bit better. We can always add it back in later. And you can see right here how it's turning out. Let's put that right there. Push it back to the background just a little bit. So just imagine like that means there's going to be an arm going into there, or like it's facing away from the lighting. Which means the reason why it looks so weird is this. It's protruding a bit outward. Just a bit too much. Okay. So you need to go in a little bit sharper. Just gotta take your time, be patient. Okay, let's fill it in. Okay, I'm seeing it start to take shape. It's not quite the shape I want, but I could spend a little bit more time working on it, or I could move on and get back to it later. Actually, I think I got an idea. So I'm going to take my selection tool. I'm going to pick this entire right half. I'm just going to move it inward. And I'm keeping an eye on this bottom right corner of the image right here, so I can see how it looks like in-game, or how it would roughly look like in-game. Okay. Feeling like around here seems about right. Yeah, let's go with this. Alright, I think I like how this is coming out right now. Let's move this up just a little bit more. Maybe this needs to be pushed outward. Alright, so I got like this floating chess piece of my weird construct thing I got going here. Well, we'll just call it a golem. I made a golem earlier, but let's say it is the Golem Mark II. Just trying to refine the edges. And let's erase this part, just for now, because let's rethink what we want to do down here. So let's check out my original design. I got this floating head with floating arms, for some reason floating legs, and this weird corkscrew kind of ordeal going. I kinda still want to capture that idea. So I'm just gonna duplicate something. I'm gonna call this lower body. Right. I'm just gonna erase what I don't need at the moment. I'm gonna move the layer just under the head, the body, above the construction. And see, let's use a darker color because it is the lower half. Let's try this shape. Let's use a lighter color now. Let's try something like that. It's not looking good at the moment, but we'll figure it out. Just gonna move body up. Let's position it like right here, and let's sketch out what we kind of want. So let's say the back end's like somewhere around here. So I want to say it's going to continue like here. It goes up like that. Whoops. And let's close it so I can actually use my fill tool without making everything explode. Okay, let's just clean some edges. Probably don't need to touch the top that much, really, but might as well just do it. The reason why you don't, I said I didn't want to clean up the top because it's going to be hidden behind the main body for the most part. So I'm just going to clean up the edges on the bottom, or that's what I want to do. Makes it look smoother. It's my personal preference. Some people may say otherwise, that I could probably just have left some of those black lines in. Okay, so now it kind of looks weird like this, but like I said, we'll figure out what this creature is supposed to look like. Probably would have been easier if I did a person, but oh well. We're going with a humanoid shape, right? Okay. Let's move the head up. Whoops. Make sure you actually, when you try and move something, you're on the correct layer. Don't worry. Control Z is an amazing tool. Or Control Z, or Control Zigzag, depending on where you're from. See, for here, let's do something like that. You'll see what I'm trying to do. Just want to add like a cool little detail right here of why it has like little floating arms. So let's try refining this. Doesn't look like how I envisioned it, but we'll make it work. That's what you gotta do as an artist, just make it work. Somehow. Actually, that applies to a lot of things. Let's use the gold trim because we haven't used gold in a while. Gonna grab out my shading layer again. Now, for most of my ballers, I just have a habit of making the lighting kind of go that way. That's an awful arrow, but you know, go that way. And so a lot of my ballers just kind of have the darker colors on the right side of their sprite, and then the lighter colors are on the left side. I just like having that little consistency with all my ballers, and I think in my in-game product it'll come out nicely that way. Like, just to give you an example, let me load up one of my hero. Let's see if I can find. Where's my first dude? There we go. This is the first baller I created right here, so you can see he has like some darker colors on the right side, and it gets lighter towards the left. And let me just merge everything down so I can copy and paste them over to the guy I'm working on. So just to show a comparison. And as you can also see, I'm using a lot less black on these characters, which is the main reason is I went back and made things look a lot smoother. So here's one of the heroes for my RPG. This is Kyo, and this is the size comparison he has with the creature at the moment. So let's just hide that. We'll keep him there for reference, just in case. Let's shove him all the way down to the bottom so I don't click on him needlessly. So let's merge this one down to the body layer. I'm just gonna start wanting to add some details just to make this guy look a little cooler. He's really plain looking at the moment. I'll figure something out. I don't want to like just draw nipples for some reason. I did it anyways. Okay, so we'll leave his body like this for now. Actually, I'll do his other arm connector thing. And then we'll move on to drawing his arms in quotation marks. Okay. Let's duplicate background, rename it front arm. I'm going to put it above the body. And you're going to see why I do all these different layers once I finish sketching out this concept. So let's use this color. Let's come up with an arm idea. It's a bit of an enchanted armor kind of golem thing. So kind of wondering what kind of arm I want to give him. Do I just want to give him like some really straight line thingy, kind of like that, or do I want to like turn his entire arm into a weapon? Just right now I'm just playing with it, trying to come up with ideas. You know what? Let's say this is a type of like it's a golem. It's floating. It's magical. So let's. So I'm just gonna do some finishing up on the body, since like this part of the neck's kind of bothering me. Just gonna finish that up, and what I think I'm gonna do with his arm is I'm gonna turn it like it looks like a rod right now from my really quick painted sketch. So I'm thinking his arms are going to be floating lightning rods of the sort. So he's going to be more of a magical type of character. It doesn't look quite right, but you know, we'll go back in and try to figure out how to give this more depth and detail using shading. Right, because right now it just looks really bland, and it's just getting on my nerves. So let's try an idea like this. You know, when you're having like brain farts like this, like I am, you can sort of try looking at other sources, give you ideas or something. Because at the moment, a Final Fantasy creature is actually coming into my head right now, but I can't really put my finger onto it. But it's not quite Alexander or something. It's like a different creature from Final Fantasy. Maybe one of the elementals. They kind of had like these weird floating pieces that hovered around like a central crystal. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Also thinking maybe blazes from Minecraft. So let's just sketch out this arm. I kind of like that little detail right there. Let's keep it. And let's kind of, yeah, let's go for that lightning rod look. I'm not sure how to achieve that, but once again, just keep drawing and try to figure it out. I mean, even if it's not the first thing you had in your mind, it's possible you'll come up with something really cool. Like when I do artwork, I try not to think about it. I just kind of I kind of just start putting pieces in, and like it just works itself out. Like the same way it goes for these Ballards. You kind of just start playing around with them, and in the end, like after a while, you may come up with like a really cool looking creature. And I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but like that's really it. That's like how this thing works. Top of Ice of 2017. Okay, I got an idea. So okay, take a look at this, see how your piece is coming out. It looks weird without the shading, so let's fix her up a bit. Oh yeah, that gives it so much more depth. That arm looks a lot better with just that little shade of like brown gold orange there. Let's use this lighter color. And then this darker gray. So now it kind of has a bit of a ray gun, lightning rod type of arm. I'm thinking we could leave it like that, or we could keep adding. Let's add just a little bit more. Okay. Oh yeah, let's change this more into like a gun shape, like a bit of a barrel. Let's let our imaginations run wild for a bit. You can see how it's turning out right there. How these two black pixels right here give it like a nice little cylindrical shape that's easier to, you know, it gives it nice little depth. Okay, and to save time, I'm going to copy this arm. I'm going to make a new layer, call it back arm. I'm going to move it behind the body. I'm going to paste. Then let's flip it horizontally. Okay, now I have like pretty much 80% of the other arm already done, because I'm doing a bit of a symmetrical type of creature here. A symmetrical golem construct thingy gumwhat. So what I'm going to do to make it look like it's the back of the arm, I'm going to take this white and try to push that golden trim that's on like the upper layers of the arm to the other side. I'm just going to use this little darker color here to denote that this is like the underside of the arm. My lighting's not super realistic, but you know, for the most part, you just want to get the shapes correct, like, and worry about that later. Okay, let's get the black to re-outline. I'm gonna try and duplicate this shape in a bit, like try to figure out what this would look like from our side. Just gonna use the base gold color we are using. My chair is really squeaky, I'm not sure you can hear that. Oops. You probably hide the construction layer now. It pushes the darker color pushes it more to the back. And I'm just gonna try and move this. Just move it behind. Let's possibly shrink it. Let's see what happens when we do that. It breaks a little bit. But, yeah, we can fix it. Really easy. Really just need to do that. Put that black line right there. Lower these by like 1 pixel. Work on shading just a little bit more. And there we go. There's the main body, and there's like 2 of its magic gun arms. And let's see, now it has like a bit of a float, like our legs, so let's grab that from the body. I'm gonna go back to my body layer. I'm gonna fuse it with the bottom half real quick. And let's grab this little orb I made and reuse it. Okay. I like how that looks at the moment. The creature itself is kind of weird looking, but oh yeah, and I was gonna add that right there. Let me turn off the grid because I'm having issues seeing. There we go. Can grab this back gold orb. I'm going to use it for the lower half of the body. Orb thingy is what I'm going to call this layer. I'm just going to move it right under my body layer, paste it in, and attach it right there. Let's try like, yeah, right there. Clean it up. And merge it down. I don't see. Yep, and this all is one moving part. Oops. Every single time. That's the main thing with my method you gotta be a little bit careful of, and that's just making sure you know what layer you're on. Let's have the head float right there. And let's see, how did I... Okay, I didn't really do much for the legs either. It really didn't give me much details at all to work with, but... Oh, let's see, I'll get something done. Alright, I'll call this legs for my last layer. Or it could be my second to last. I might put on more layers. I'm not an ogre. I'm gonna put it right above the black arm. Ah, I got an idea. Nope, let's use... Actually, yeah, let's just use white. So it's gonna overlap. Okay, this part's actually gonna be above the body. It's gonna overlap right there. I'm just gonna do like a little bit of a needle leg. Give it like a slick, bit of a sharp look. Trim it with gold. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep this little needle shape. Let's make this bottom half like a little bit more rounded, because it doesn't look quite right what I want it to on the bottom right image. So when we zoom out of this, it's not gonna look the way I exactly want it to look. Yeah, let's use those colors. Messing up a bit, but I'll fix that. And that's the first leg done. Now, remember what we did for the back arm? We'll do that for the back leg as well, because this creature is more or less symmetrical. So let's make a new layer called the back leg. And I'm going to put it right behind everything but the back arm, because the arm in the back right there is supposed to be hovering behind the back leg from our perspective. Kind of like that in a way. Now I'm gonna flip it horizontally, and hey, it already looks almost done that way. Now what I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna move it to the side right here, and I'm gonna make it so it looks like it connects to that yellow orb, orange gold orb right there. So let's zoom back in. And I'm just gonna use this dark color, this dark gray here. Sort of just paint in like a shape that looks like it's supposed to be connected with the orb, or like it resonates with it. I'll push this golden part back. I'm gonna copy that design right there. Let's, like, this is not showing everything, just imagine there's more parts on the back. So I'm gonna say it's like a bit of a, like, kind of like that shaped, almost like a wing, or I'm not really sure what the correct word is, but it's like half a sphere. Kind of encapsulates it just a little bit. Darken this. Oops, not that one. This one. This might be a little bit too big, but we'll see how it works out. Let's just, yeah, maybe that works. Actually, yeah, that works. Let's finish outlining it. Just let's compare it. Yeah, it's pretty big compared to the other leg, so I'm gonna try shrinking it. Let's see if that's working properly. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think that fixed it. Now we just go back. We do our outlines. Oops. Fix our shading. There we go. Kind of looks like that. Kind of want to move the back arm just a little bit to the left. Yeah, maybe like right there. I could have it out. Actually, yeah, let's have it out like that. The chest is still bothering me though. So I couldn't figure out the design for the chest, but you know what? I did like this sort of plated design on the legs and the arm, so let's replicate that. So I don't want to damage my chest outright, so I'm gonna make another layer and call it chest details. Chest details. Move it right above the body piece. And now I'm just gonna sketch over it. Just doing like a rough design. Yeah, I kinda like how that possibly looks. Yeah, actually that was pretty nice, so I'm gonna go in and refine it. Let's draw the outline. I kind of want to do it as straight as possible. Some of you guys are probably bored to death at the moment, so I'm just gonna try and speed things up so we can get on to animating. This part needs to be more rounded. Just take a look at how it looks on bottom right. Gonna erase that part. Okay, let's go with this shape. And we'll pretend like these other golden parts are not visible to our perspective due to the side that the construct's facing. So let's finish outlining. Not quite how I want it to look at the moment, but maybe because it's too much black. So it's giving an illusion of, like, not quite the shape I wanted to take from the faraway perspective. That's why you shouldn't use too much black. Okay. Alright, now it's starting to take shape. This bottom piece right here looks really good. Now to fix this upper like rib. Just needs to curve in just a little bit more. Still not quite getting the shape I want. I can only do so much when you're working with like pretty few pixels. Alright, yeah, let's leave it at that. I think that looks nice. Okay. You know, I could actually possibly remove the head. It would look pretty cool as a creature that way also. Let's leave it on. Actually, or I could redesign the head to make it match a little bit better, because I feel like that helmet doesn't quite, it's not working with the rest of the body, so just want, I feel like it maybe just needs to be plated instead of like looking like it's a floating helmet. Yeah, I think that actually looks better that way. Let's just give it some depth using shade. It's almost like a space helmet, to be honest. Maybe it's a space golem creature thing from like another era. Who knows? Let's give it like this round down shape right here. It does look like a type of space helmet now. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, now remember how we have several different layers for each individual body part. That comes into play now when we're going to do the animation. My modelers, they have their idle poses are relatively simple in animations. Whoops. Okay, first of all, I'm going to delete this construction layer because I don't need it anymore. And this part of the body was, or this part of the helmet was just irritating me, so I just want to put some black right there. And yeah, from far away it looks kind of nice. Let's see. Yeah, let's leave that black in there. So before I distract myself further, we have several different layers for each individual like cluster of body parts. So when we animate it, it's going to be really, really easy to move our parts around. And you're going to see what I'm going to do in a second. I'm going to give you some examples first. So let's see. I'll show you my first dude right here, Kyo, which is one main characters for my RPG Maker project. He relatively doesn't, his sprite doesn't move much at all, because he has a different layer for each, for his body, for his staff, his arms, and his legs. And what I do is I just move, I make a new frame, animation frame, and each time I just move each of those parts like 1 pixel over, and it makes it look like it's animated. Because, well, it is animated because the pixels are moving. So let's find Kyo. I'm going to load him up. And on the bottom right, you can see the animations playing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you all. See, that's like his idol and his fin, Sarah. So here's and on the big screen, I'll show you his idol. So right here, I made him move down. I made him move to the left and up, and then back to start. So he kind of has like a little bouncing animation like that. And to give him more, to give him a little bit more animation, I went and just made him clench his fist a lot with his front arm. And whoops, that's a different layer I was using. His guarding. He's just kind of bouncing about. Low HP. It's kind of breathing. And then let's see, we can get to the attack animations and such another time. I'm just showing you pretty much what can happen. Oh, that's his victory pose, and his starting poses he puts on his mask. Death animation. And let me show you another character. Okay, let's zoom out just a little bit. Her idol is, she bounces up and down, and I change out how her hair moves on each frame. And then I make her little magical claws right there clench. And let me see. This is her defend animation. And when the battle starts, she conjures out her claws. Alright, I really hope OBS recorded this, because I don't really know how to use this program, but I am assuming it did. And let's see, let's find something else. And yeah, using my method, you can make really simple idle animations, and you can make something really complicated. Oh yeah, here's the earlier goal I made that I mentioned, like maybe, I don't know how many minutes ago, maybe 20 or 30 minutes ago. So he kind of bounces up, then back down, and you can see he has like these little power cores that are animated differently for each frame. So these two cores are moving in a circle. I got like this cool swirly effect going on right here, and then his face is kind of like a TV screen. And that's like, you know, when you're on a channel you didn't pay the cable for or something. Kind of staticky. And let's see, let's find one of my other characters. jump. Sorry, my mom walked into the room real quick. I hope that got muted, but who knows. Let's see, I'll probably edit that out. Possibly. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. Here's Nerve Owler. Just moving back and forth, but I gave her sword like that really that kind of illusion lightning that's going on. And also animated her hand and her hair just a little bit, as well as the back of her coat. Her defend animation. She's a illusionist type of character, so when she defends, she makes clones of herself. Low HP, hurt, attack, item, skill, magic, move, retreat, victory. She dismisses her magic, and when she starts, magic starts. So yeah, like, because we have these many layers, animation is gonna be relatively simple, at least for the idle poses. I mean, the sky's the limit. But for now, let's figure out the idle for this guy. So this is his base pose. I'm just call this base camp. I'm gonna name it idle number 1. Now let's duplicate it and call it idle number 2. And just for starting animation, let's make his head bob up 1. I'll make his front arm go up 1. And his back arm, if I can find it, go up 1. And you can see how it's animating right there on that bottom right. It's kind of bouncing. And let's move that. Oh, I forgot to put the chest details in, so let's do that real quick. Just merge that in. And merge that in. Let's move that up 1 so it has a little bit more motion. And yeah, just when you do this, you want to look at this bottom right that shows you your frame animations to figure out how your poses are looking at the moment. So when I move everything up like that, it kind of makes everything look almost static. It's kind of boring. But when you give stuff more movement, then you can see like each piece is like its own type of thing that's not super connected to everything. It's gonna be a little bit weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You just gotta do it and you'll see what I mean. Let's try actually moving this one down. So it doesn't, at the moment, doesn't look too good, but when it comes to like RPGMaker, let's say we're using, I personally use Victor's animated battlers. So like, let's say default is 4 frames of animation. It'll come together once we get to our animation frames. So let's do idle number 3. Just gonna try to smooth out the animation. Let's see, where did the bark arm go? back arm's been standing still for... Okay, it went down. Let's make it move to the right. And the front arm, make it move to... Let's make it move back up. Okay, that looks kind of weird. Let's see. And I kind of like the idea that the legs are a little bit static, but let's give it just a little bit of movement. I'm gonna make this back leg, or this front leg, move to the left. I'm gonna make the back leg move to the right. It's kind of like twisting a little bit. I'll make it. I'll try to make it do the same thing on the other frames. That way, on this, there he goes, like staying still a little bit. Feels really bouncy. Now let's go back. Let's just duplicate Idle 2 real quick and see how everything comes together, just as a snippet. Okay, the head's bobbling a little bit way too much, but I don't really mind everything else. It's just a really simple animation at the moment. So this base does that, then that, back to that. So yeah, I got it. So I'm gonna move this one. Oops. Like I said, layers. You gotta know what layer you're working on. Move this down. So let's see. Let's just stare at the head. So I feel like it needs to go down one more. The thing is, this head kind of goes up too much. So yeah, just remember, as you move your pieces, keep your eye on the bottom right. That's what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm being quiet, because I'm trying to see just like how it just looks. It kind of looks weird right now, but let's see. Okay, let's do that. See, it kind of moves down, then goes back up for the front arm. Back arm's kind of doing its own thing, and the head's more or less static. The legs I'm not happy with, but I'll get to them later. Let's see, let's find back arm. Okay. Body is also relatively static, so let's move the body. Okay, for some reason it's called just details now. That's what. I could have it moving in a little circle, but I don't want that. Kind of like it going back and forth like that. But then it makes the front arm look like it's always attached, or it's not like independent. Kind of want to give it more freedom of movement. I think I like that. Now the legs, they're disappointing me at the moment. Looks so weird. What's going on? Okay. Alright, let's figure it out. So, moves. Ah, I see. Alright, let's fix one part at a time. So, I'm going to focus only on the front leg. You know, they kind of look like mechanical pencils or pens. It's like his leg is just sketching something. Just kind of playing with it right now. Yeah, I think I kind of like that right there. Now we just need to, whoops. We just need to work on the back leg. Yeah, let's leave it there. But yeah, you guys get the point, so... Here's like the idle animation at the moment. Not the best idle animation, but hey, it's what I could come up with in the time I have. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I just make battlers. So, I'll give you another example of like something. Let's see, something that's a little bit cooler. Let's find one of my bosses that I made. Here we go. Here's the idle for this boss. Let me close in. That is the very first boss of the game I designed. Well, redesigned. Kind of bounces, and then I went back and added more detail to his capes, so they kind of flutter in the wind. And he kind of has that breathing animation. Not sure how good that'll look in game, but so I might remove it if it doesn't look that great. And oh yeah, these were some wireframes I made because of experimenting with his body shape. His defense, relatively simple. Low HP. He's been hit. He's a little angry. His attack. Item. Kind of just grabs an item and crushes it in his hand. skill. Haven't finished it yet. And let's find my second boss. This is one of the more complicated battlers I created, because he has all that fur, and it was a bit of a headache trying to get it to animate properly. And he has all those tentacles as well. It's just... Oops, what am I doing? And there you can see right on that bottom right how he looks when he's fully animated. It's defense animation. And you can see how this guy looks in my gameplay video. Should be on my channel still. It's called like 4 Runes Boss Fight 2 or something like that. And you can also see how all my other battlers look, in case you're curious. It's low HP. Kinda goes a little crazy. Cast magic. I kinda said stop caring on this animation, so I made it really simple. Attack. His movement. So yeah. That pretty much covers most of how I do my animated battlers. Like, if I highly recommend, you know, take a look at Holder, take a look at his sprites, and they're really amazing. They're pretty much what I based my spriting off of. And about me not really putting too much effort in idle, because I'm just moving like parts around. Try checking out other games with idle animations. Like, look at Dungeon Fighter Online, look at Street Fighter. You'll notice that they reuse their assets. Like the chess piece, like let's say a chess on Ryu or something will stand still for the most part and he kind of just jumps up and down. So what they do is they'll make his chest move up by a frame or two, and then they'll readjust his clothing to make it look like it's bouncing. So once you have a base sprite in, making the idle pose is really simple. You just need to move what you have around and reconstruct as needed. So my voice is getting a little hoarse right now. This is the first time I've done a video like this. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two. And well, that's it for y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.